All right. Good evening. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge Softball Bros as we discuss the Women's College World Series as it kicks off in a few days here. We're just going to do a kind of a bracket breakdown and just kind of get our thoughts on OU as they try for the three-peat and try to maybe become one of the best teams in women's college softball history. So, guys, just looking at the bracket, I mean, first, some thoughts on the overall bracket. What are your thoughts on the depth of this bracket and maybe the teams in it, and how strong is this field?
Well, I'll start off with it is a tale of. It looks like to me, I would really go with it's a tale of three teams against the rest, and I think those three teams are OU, Tennessee, and Florida State. Those are obviously the three teams in this tournament with the most talent. Now, if you talk about individual players, you may give it to Alabama with Montana Fouts, but
Mm,
overall, I think it is a pretty top heavy bracket. I don't see I don't see any other team besides Oklahoma, Tennessee, or Florida State winning the whole thing. Now, I do think Oklahoma State can get back to the championship, but that all rides on the soul of Kelly Maxwell.
Yeah, I was going to say there. I agree with you that Florida State, I think, is the top. I guess you could say the kryptonite maybe that could affect OU. And the three teams you mentioned, I would agree with team wise, but the three wild cards to me are Montana Fouts with Alabama, because if she gets it rolling, you just never know with that kind of pitching. And then you got OSU with the rivalry and with Maxwell and the way, honestly, that they played last weekend. And the other wild card to me is just the whole family affair with Gasso at Utah. I just think that those kind of three would be the wild card teams that I see.
I I agree with a little bit, kind of what Jackson said, but I'm going to disagree on something. I think overall this field is very strong for a women's college World Series. I really do. I mean, I'm looking at some of these teams, and uh, I mean, Alabama to me with Montana Fouts. I mean, before the season, people are projecting that they'd be in the championship game, maybe against OU, right? I mean, Tennessee's red hot, Utah's hot. Uh, I mean,
Well, and
I just think it's a pretty deep field. I really do. I think it is. I think you have your awesome teams, as we all know, with Florida State and OU. But I do think that some of these other teams, I mean, OSU's a good team. Utah's a good team and a hot. So I think it's a pretty deep field. And I think it's a very strong field. And I'll tell you right now, to me, Florida State is. I would I would probably be pretty shocked if it's not Florida State versus OU in the championship
all
series.
right, yeah,
And because Florida State guys, what they have on the pitching staff, uh, no other team besides OU has it. And they got multiple pitchers that are really talented and really good. Okay. Alabama has Fouts, but who else do they have?
yeah,
Florida State sitting here with is it set? I'm trying to remember Sandercock or
oh yeah,
yeah, that's
um,
right. That might be the last one.
and McKenna Reed as well. And they're both really talented pitchers. And I mean, so either one of when you're facing a team that has multiple pitchers
Mhm.
that can come in, I mean that to me makes a big difference.
And while you're talking about multiple pitchers, I do agree a depth thing, and that's been a strength of OU's all year to be able to have really the three-headed monster that they have on the mound. But when you're talking about one game, I'm opening up against the Kennedy girl, the freshman of the year.
Mhm.
Cannot sleep on that
Yeah,
because she is an ace and she's young. She's never been in this situation, but sometimes those are the ones you want in that situation. That just young, raw talent, and she's got it. So I think that's an interesting opening matchup for OU, just especially after winning the way they did.
yeah.
I don't know, that's a little bit of a concern.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
yeah,
guys.
go Braden.
What about the Tennessee pitchers?
I don't know much about.
I think Tennessee's red hot with the bats right now.
Is it Ashley Rogers, Jackson?
I don't know anything about Tennessee besides that they have Mackenzie Donahue. I'm going to be honest, but I do know a good amount about Stanford as I have their stats pulled up right here, and it looks like they are led offensively by River Mailer. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, but she on the season is batting 367, leads their team in average. No home runs and 21 RBIs. And it looks like Stanford as a team this year only hit 24 home runs.
That's crazy.
So you talk about a Stanford team that has little to no power, really, and they're a team. I'm trying to see. They had 235 RBIs, so it's a good amount of RBIs. But I'm gonna see if I can find out how many runs they average per game.
Hey, let's go through this bracket and kind of break down the first round of each game and kind of get y'all's thoughts on who's going to come out of each game. First off, start off with Tennessee, Alabama. Who comes out of that game, Braden?
Tennessee.
I have Tennessee.
I'm actually going Alabama.
I'm going Bama.
I'm going Alabama because
Yep,
the
I
Montana
agree. I'm
Fouls
going
factor.
Alabama too. I think Montana Fouls is going to have a special performance.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you all on that. And I've been saying Tennessee's red hot. But we've seen it before in these Women College World Series. You get a pitcher that I don't know. Just Fouts to me is that pitcher that she gets it rolling. She's a next level pitcher. Let's be honest. And so I think she will have a great performance. Honestly, I think she's going to have a great World Series performance. The whole series. I think she's going to have a great series. So I pick Alabama to come out of that first game too.
Yeah, and you talk about the Oklahoma-Stanford game that's next. I think we all are going to say Oklahoma. I don't think we have to go around and really choose for anyone to have an answer. But
yeah,
No.
I'm going to go Oklahoma 6-1 in that game.
I think that Oklahoma is going to go for the run rule game one.
I'm going to go 7-0.
Yeah, I think they're run rule. I mean, I expect Nicole May to be on the mound.
9-1. I'll go 9-1.
Is May going to pitch? You guys think?
Yes.
That's who I think's going.
Yeah.
I think you have to find a way to save Jordy Ball for game.
Yep.
That's the way. I mean, unless you want to roll out there Alex Storako, but just with as of her confidence of late and her maybe not having her best outings.
It was just one outing, though.
Yes, but
the game before she threw an inning and a half or inning 2/3 of hitless ball.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, I don't know that OU. Hey, I don't know that confidence is going to ever be an issue at OU because of the staff. I think they're so confident. And one thing that stood out was Kenzie Hanson's quote about defending a championship. She said, "We're not defending anything; we're attacking everything." Yep. I mean, that's the mindset of this team, and I think Storako, it's the same way with. I think her mindset. She's going to go in there and attack. She's probably not thinking anything about her last performance or pitch.
But hey, guys, Jay,
yeah,
you know who I'm. This is going to surprise you all, but Utah. They could give Washington their money's worth.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
Utah's going to win that game. I got Utah. I don't know about you, Jeremy J, who you guys have, but I mean, I agree with Braden. I think give me the Utes, and you talk about them having two Gassos on their coaching staff. I think they're going to find a way to pull it out.
I agree with you, Jackson. I think Utah is going to pull it out.
They're familiar opponents too, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. That is that's a thing that's not talked about enough is the familiarity.
Hey, Jackson.
In the tournament, yeah.
And they have a good pitching staff. They have good pitchers.
Yeah.
But dude, guys, they can hit home runs too.
So OSU and Florida State, does everybody have Florida State coming out of that game?
That's who I'm picking.
You know, I think I hate to bet against Florida State, but I think if Oklahoma State pitches Kelly Maxwell, I saw what she did last year in the tournament. Now I know that's last year, but I think Kelly Maxwell will throw. If she starts, she will have a dominant performance, and Oklahoma State will win that game 2-1. I have Oklahoma State actually upsetting Florida State.
Me,
Wow.
same.
I still
What? You guys are nuts.
Hey, no, and I'm actually Jackson. Did Braden pick Florida State?
Yes, I did.
Jackson, I'm with you, and it's not because I want OSU to win.
I
Look,
know, same.
they're gonna have now. I know all these teams travel well, okay, but OSU's gonna have a buttload of fans there.
Mm-hmm.
They've been in this situation. They've been in huge games. My goodness, they play OU multiple times a season.
Florida State's been in this many times, bro.
I agree, Jay. I just think with what the same reason Jackson said with Maxwell on the hill and the run that they've made before, I do think, and I would love, honestly, if they did upset Florida State early in this tournament.
It's not going to happen, in my opinion. They're going to throw Sandercock out there. She's 25-3 on the year, has like a 1.6 ERA, 100 Ks. She's a stud pitcher, and they also have.
OSU has played against studs all year, though.
I know, but I'm just. You look at Florida State, who won their conference championship. OSU, I know OU's in their conference, so they didn't win either. But let's be honest, the Big 12 in softball is not a loaded conference.
But and also
it's not a very good
there's
softball.
A counter to that is that Oklahoma State did have to face OU and Texas both.
I agree, but other than OU and Texas, the Big 12 is not very deep. Am I right?
And other than Florida State and Clemson, neither is the ACC.
Yes. Yeah, that's my point. The ACC, I
believe Duke was in there too. Duke's pretty good.
That's the only other team was Duke. But man, I think really Florida State and Oklahoma State, that to me is probably the matchup I'm most.
That'll be a good matchup. I agree with you on that.
Outside of Oklahoma Stanford, because it's just like I said, Kelly Maxwell, Jay, as you said, Sandercock for Florida State. It's just truly an intriguing matchup.
That's going to be a great game. I mean, all these are very interesting games. You got Utah, Washington. I mean, that's a great matchup. You know, Tennessee, Alabama in conference again. So you got Tennessee, Alabama, and Washington, Utah, who are inter-conference games basically there. And so those are very interesting. Just kind of moving on through it. I mean, do y'all think OU loses a game before the championship series?
No.
I don't think OU's losing a game at all, Jay. And I've said it. I've been saying it for a while now. And it's not like that's a brave projection or prediction that some kind of bold prediction that they're not going to use. That's probably what most people think. But if they were going to lose one, you thought it would have been that last one against Clemson. I mean, their mindset is in full attack mode everywhere, and I just don't see them losing a game. If they did, it may be in the actual World Series final, the best of three, maybe against a team like Florida State, maybe. But
and I'm going to go back to a Jeremy comparison about OU softball being compared to Tiger Woods. You talk about the best team and this being pretty much a home field advantage for OU, even though it's a thing that is talked about a lot. It's in Oklahoma City, and there's going to be more OU fans there than any other team. And you just talk about OU, it's like OU honestly doesn't have any pressure on them. Like, they do have pressure to go back to back. But them, just like Hansen said that, Jeremy, what was the quote that Kinsey Hansen had? Could you say that again?
We're not defending anything. We're attacking everything.
Exactly. They have everything. Really, they have nothing to lose now because they've already proven.
Jackson, they kind of have everything to lose.
They have everything to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
the pressure's on OU.
You're saying this, Jackson, and it's the reason I agree with you, Jackson. The pressure's all on anyone who's not OU is expected to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
OU is expected to win by everyone. It would be a major disappointment if OU doesn't win this thing. So to me, that's, as an outsider looking in, you'd say all the pressure's on you, OU. But the difference is OU doesn't talk about it being pressure.
Yep.
They don't approach it that way because of the leadership at the top. And that's the only thing. It's like every answer that these girls give, they know what to say. And it's not like some kind of fool's gold where they're just hogwash saying it. They believe it. They just love playing the game. We've talked about it till we're blue in the face.
Yeah,
But
I think though, like you said, Oklahoma, all the pressure is on them, and you ask anybody that's watching college softball, I would say the majority of the people, if they're not OU fan, are rooting against OU. This is kind of an
Oh,
Oklahoma versus the world type deal because we've seen all this stuff. People are tired of it, tired of them winning. You know how that is. It's that way with. I thought the same thing when I watched UConn women's basketball. I was tired of them winning all the time. Obviously, I'm not a UConn fan, but even Patty Gasso after the last game when OU beat Clemson, even she didn't say it, but she did say like, these girls just always rise to the occasion. You don't think they like even she was kind of like, you can't keep winning every game, like, but they are. I mean, but I do think, listen, I do think that second round matchup with against Tennessee or Alabama, I think that will be a tight game. I really do. I know you probably have ball going in that game, but I think it will be a very tight game. Both of those teams are good, and I don't think Alabama can score the runs to hang with OU. That would be
no.
my only concern as a Bama if I was a Bama fan. But their pitching, Fouts can pitch a gem if she's up to the challenge, and she can.
So
And Tennessee can score runs. I mean, so I see that game as being a tight game.
pitchers in this bracket, guys. If
What?
we're gonna rate the top five best in this bracket, here's who I would go. Okay, and
Other than OU's pitchers?
no, I'm ranking the top five pitchers in this bracket.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Is this in order?
Wait, in order. Yeah, in order. I'm
Okay.
gonna. I don't even know where I'd rank Ball, but I'm gonna say Fouts at 1, Ball 2, Sandra Croc 3.
Maxwell 4.
I would probably go Kennedy 4, Maxwell 5.
Okay.
That does not put any. The thing that doesn't put any Florida State pitcher on there.
Sandercock.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, Sandercock. That isn't, and that only puts one OU pitcher on there in that 5. What do you guys
wouldn't
think?
put May. You wouldn't put May in the top 5.
Not.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put
I
Ball.
don't
You wouldn't put Ball ahead of Fouts.
See, that's the
I don't
thing.
know.
I'm going to give Montana Fouts over the last 3 years. She gets her flowers.
Yeah, but I'm talking about right now, the way Ball's pitching.
Healthy, I still think that Montana Fouts is the best pitcher in the country.
But is she healthy completely? That's
Where's Sandercock at on your list?
Me?
Sandercock's really good.
4. See, I have this Kennedy girl at 3. Guys, her ERA is 0.48 this year. That's ridiculous.
How many
Is that the girl from Stanford?
Jackson, how many innings has she pitched?
She's 20-1 on the year. I believe that's her record.
Jackson.
She's scary
Who
good,
is it?
guys. Stanford. She's scary
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Hey, look, let me
Yeah.
look something up. I remember how many innings has Montana Fouts pitched?
Najari Kennedy. Oh, Kennedy's 16-1. She's pitched 116 innings this year. The second most for Stanford. Stanford's second best pitcher is Alana Valter. She has an ERA of 1.83 with 179 innings pitched. So they have two pretty solid pitchers.
Traber.
Yeah, I know Montana Fouts
Who's
pitched
Traber?
13 innings,
Hello?
but
Yeah.
Hey, who's your predict? Washington or Utah?
Utah.
Yeah, same.
The Utes, baby.
Hey, but I think we'd be talking about Ball differently if she was pitching not like because they had Strackel and May throughout the year. If Ball was pitching as much innings as some of these other girls, I think you'd be talking about her as the best pitcher in softball.
Well, the thing is that the fact of the matter is Montana Fouts has been dominant for 3 years straight, been the ace on Alabama. So
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think 1-2, those are your top two pitchers for sure.
yeah.
But I do think Sander Cox right there, 25-3 guys, 160 something innings pitch, 100 Ks. I mean, girl can throw it. I mean, so and then Maxwell, we know what Maxwell can do, and another girl for Florida State, the Reed girl, I think her record's like I'd have to look, but it might be like 18 and I don't know. It's a pretty good record. And she's kind of the two on that staff. That staff's really good, guys.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, and also Oklahoma State, who's their freshman pitcher? What's her
She
name?
pitched good against OU. I know that.
He's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Started, I think, the second game for Oklahoma State. Was it the first or second game against Oregon, Braden? I think it may have been the first.
First game.
I do think,
good.
guys, that Ball gets ridden a little bit more in this World Series than she has throughout the year. I think they're going to lean on her a little bit more.
Hey, and guys, I would not be shocked if we see a surprise early game entry from Kirsten Deal in one of these games.
Jackson, I don't know.
The thing is, why would Patty Gasso? She trusted her more to get out of that jam than Storako.
Well, she put Storako in first, Jackson. That means she trusted Storako more.
Well, yes, no, but I'm saying is she could have easily have kept in Storako and ridden with her because she has experience factor, but instead she immediately goes to Deal.
Yeah, but I think Gasso is, and this is one thing that I've always noticed about Gasso, guys. She has a very keen eye for how her players are feeling, how comfortable they are out there, and I think once that Storako allowed that homer, I think she knew, mentally, I think she was like, I got to get her out. I just think Gasso is very good at managing that. But I don't know, guys. So as we look at this, let's get a prediction on your championship series, okay, and maybe who the most outstanding player will be for the World Series.
Jeremy and Traber, we'll start with you guys.
I'm saying, you want to go first? Championship series will be OU Florida State. And Florida State will have come through the losers bracket.
Oh, okay.
Because they are getting upset in the opening round against OSU. And OU will sweep them. And I'm going to say that the most valuable player, and I'm going with the girl that's hot right now and that's been so valuable. I'm saying Kinsey Hansen is going to be the most valuable player. Not just because of her timely hitting, and she's been on fire, but I think her defense is going to shine in this and what she does behind the plate. I can see her throwing some people out this tournament, and I just think just her being behind the plate with the staff that OU has, I'm saying she's going to be the MVP. OU wins, sweeps, doesn't lose the entire World Series, and are the three-time national champs.
I agree with him about it's going to be Oklahoma, Florida State, but I have a different MVP, and I think that MVP is going to be Grace Lyons.
Wow. Grace Lyons, a season revival story. You talk about it.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna go the same. I'm gonna go the same championship series, OU Florida State. I just think the depth of the pitching of both staffs, because when you get into this World Series, you can have one pitcher like Fawcett can carry you, but if you have two pitchers, to me it just helps so much in the way this format is and everything. And so I see Florida State and OU, and I see the most outstanding player as the hottest player for OU right now. And that is Jordy Ball. I think Jordy Ball wins most outstanding player. I think they three-peat. I think she has a great series.
Braden?
I'm like Jay. OU, Florida State. The pitching is good on both sides, and I think the outstanding player is going to be Jada Coleman.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I have OU Florida State, and there's so many players you can pick for OU. But you talk about just when you need in my opinion, the player on OU that defines the OU culture, that brings it every day, that is the heart and soul of this team, the energy player. I'm not to go with Braden. I'm taking Jada Coleman. You talk about the girl that makes defensive play after play, just the amount of emotion she plays with in this World Series. You already know it. Jada Coleman and Jordy Ball are going to be the two most amped up, hyped up players in this World Series every single game, every single night for OU.
Hey,
And
Jackson,
yeah,
I thought you said it was going to be a Bedlam Championship Series the other night.
well, you know what?
You changing your mind?
Yes, I've changed. You're right, and it's just like you said. It's going to come down to the pitching, and with Florida State having more to star players now, I would want to see OU Oklahoma State at a point too, but I think it's going to be Florida State.
I do think that it's going to be OU versus one of those two teams in that little bracket there. But hey, yeah, guys, we're 2 days away from this getting started. I'm super excited for just all the storylines. There's so many intriguing storylines with this Women's College World Series, and you guys, the viewers, we appreciate you guys watching our Softball Bros videos. A lot of the interaction. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we would love to hear your predictions on who you have in the final games
Hey
and
guys,
who you have as MVPs.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
here's another player that may shock everybody. Sydney Sanders.
I agree.
We
I
could
was,
go days
I
talking about
was
who's
actually
gonna step up.
very close to choosing Sydney Sanders.
Hey, that's the thing though about this OU team is I would love to see the comment from people about the most outstanding player if OU wins it, because I think we're going to see a variety of selections. And
The
I think
burrito bombs. How many burrito
No
bombs
one
are going to
even
see?
said Alyssa
Yeah.
Brito or Tiara Jennings.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many options to choose from. Yeah.
And I mean, we all picked Florida State. I mean, I guess we're all pretty confident in Florida State getting there. They played OU tight earlier in the year, so I think that would be a great matchup to end the season on. I think that would be great, a great series.
Yeah, and you
Thanks
just
for joining, guys.
Yep, and you talk about just truly great things, and another great thing that we have right now is searchsportsnetwork.com. If you haven't, go check it out.
Jeremy, is your article about done?
Yes, it'll be dropping tomorrow. Comparison of OU, Connecticut, and Tennessee.
Wow.
Women's teams.
Yep.
Pat Summit, Patty Gasso, and Gino Oriema. Great comparison of the three.
Yep.
So,
and you talk about just greatness, as Jeremy said, and truly, just like and subscribe and comment. We love the interaction. And boys, I think that's all we have for tonight. Boomer.